What's up guys, Earl here of YugaTech, and this is the iPhone, and this is the HONOR X8b, and whether you like it or not, it kind of looks like an iPhone. And it looks good, and slightly better. Wanna know why? Stay tuned and find out. The HONOR X8b packs a 6.7-inch display, and for some reason, the dimension of this device feels right to the hands, even though it shares the same screen real estate with the iPhone 15 Pro Max. It really has a premium build to it, featuring an aluminum frame, or if it's not, it feels good and it feels solid for a plastic frame. Now, situated here at the back is the triple rear camera sensor, which has a pretty interesting set of cameras, housed in this traditional HONOR fashion in a square camera module. It kind of looks like a quadruple camera setup, but don't be deceived, as this fourth module right here is just an LED flash, and nonetheless, the camera placement here as well as the LED flash looks clean, and there's not much of a clutter aside from the HONOR badge here down at the bottom. The unit we have is in this glamorous green colorway, which also comes with this leatherette texture finish that I think is a nice way to alleviate fingerprints as well as putting case on it. Overall, we are digging the design of the HONOR X8b as it looks chic and truly won't bend anytime soon. It also feels premium to the touch thanks to that frame, which I still cannot determine as aluminum or a plastic, but nonetheless, when it comes to build quality, I'm giving the HONOR X8b a 9 out of 10. Diving more into the display of the HONOR X8b, as I mentioned earlier, we have a 6.7-inch AMOLED display with 90Hz refresh rate and a resolution of 2412 by 1080, producing 394 ppi. The display looks great. It features deep blacks, of course, it's an AMOLED panel, and texts are very sharp. Colors on the display, especially with the default wallpaper, looks pleasing to the eye as they pop. We didn't encounter any problem using this device under direct sunlight, as the display can go as high as a whopping 2000 nits peak brightness, which is a far cry from last year's 800 nits. Now checking out HONOR's version of Apple's Dynamic Island, which is dubbed as Magic Capsule. I mean, come on Apple, look how tiny this thing is. I know it doesn't have those Face ID sensors underneath that Magic Capsule, but after using the device from quite some time now, every time I jump back into my iPhone, the Dynamic Island feels huge to my eyes. Now, watching contents on the HONOR X8b is good. I feel like the saturation of the display was adjusted when watching content, as the video output doesn't look as saturated as when you are experiencing or exploring the home screen, which I think is a plus. And the display is immersive enough thanks to that thin bezel all around. And that capsule-like cutout isn't really that disturbing as it is small, and also there is no chin to get bothered about. Now when it comes to its speakers, well, unfortunately, you will have a single downward firing speakers here, so you really need to make sure that your fingers don't block the speakers when you use it, or else you won't be hearing anything. Speaker quality, on the other hand, is quite disappointing. It sounds tinny and leans towards highs and mids. It is not that balanced, making this one of the weakest point of this device. And that being said, I might suggest when you decide to get this device, you might want to pair it up with a TWS or a USB Type-C earphones for a much more immersive experience. Now when it comes to performance, the HONOR X8b packs a Qualcomm Snapdragon 680 chipset that features an Adreno 610 GPU. The unit we have on hand is configured with 8 gigs of RAM plus 512 gigs of onboard storage, and you can virtually boost the RAM up to another 8 gigs, giving you a total of 16 gigs of workable memory through HONOR RAM Turbo. In our experience, doing basic day-to-day tasks were okay, although when you open an app for the first time, it takes a few seconds to fully load up. But once that's done, switching from one app to another is a breeze. We tried playing a few popular game titles on this device, and so far we didn't encounter any problems as we maintained the graphics settings to medium. Although we bumped up the highest graphic settings available, the games are still playable for the most part. But from time to time, you will notice a few frame drops here and there during an intense gameplay on Genshin Impact. But on Mobile Legends, we didn't have any issues aside from that annoying speaker which I talked about earlier. We run it through our usual benchmarking apps on the HONOR X8b, and here are the results that we got. Overall, the Snapdragon 680 processor makes this device a great tool for both consumers who are looking for a productivity device that can also run games on the side. Mind you that during our gameplay, we didn't bump up the memory with the RAM Turbo feature, and yet the HONOR X8b performed well. Moving over to the camera system, the HONOR X8b packs a 108 megapixel main sensor with an aperture of 1.8, a 5 megapixel ultra wide with an aperture of 2.2, and a 2 megapixel macro lens with an aperture of 2.4. And for selfies, we have a beefy 50 megapixel front shooter with an aperture of 2.1. When it comes to the camera quality, well, you might need to slightly lower your expectations here. Sure, these sensors can capture good quality images, but under good lighting conditions. Details are reserved, colors are okay, but there is a little bit of a noise that is pretty noticeable. Contrast is somewhat lacking, but that's fine. HDR works okay for the most part, and since you don't have a telephoto lens, unfortunately, you have to digitally crop in the image if you want to get closer to a subject, which resulting in a bit noisier photo. Even when not digitally zoomed in, I find that the photo is not that detailed and tends to soften out some parts of the image. Moving on to some night shots, well, yeah, it's not that great. Noise is much more prominent in this kind of lighting condition, as well as details. Image often come out a little bit washed out. It isn't to say that the photos aren't usable, but close to. Portrait shots, on the other hand, are okay, although there are times where the edges gets finicky, but it works okay for the most part. Selfies were usable in general. It's a little bit soft to our liking, but it will suffice for casual social media postings or for updating your someone if you have any. Video-wise, the HONOR X8b can take 1080p at 30 frames per second maximum video output, and just like the photo quality, details are not that present, especially in poor lighting conditions. Feature-wise, you have a dual view mode, which I think is pretty cool and usable for those TikTokers or content creators out there, and also if you don't mind that slightly lower quality video output. Also keep in mind that there is no form of image stabilization here, so if you want a buttery smooth video output, you might want to put this on a tripod or something else to alleviate that shakiness. Running on the HONOR X8b is Android 13 skin with Magic OS 7.2. If you're coming from a Huawei device, you will feel at home with HONOR's Magic OS as they look almost identical with easy access to Google services. The UI looks clean, although there's a few bloatware here and there, but they can be disabled or uninstalled. There's also a plethora of customization options like changing the themes, icons, widgets, and even the font to really make this device fit your personality. But keep in mind, in doing so, some apps or themes might take up some of your battery life and phone's performance, as they have some added unnecessary animations and heavy graphics and whatnot. So we prefer to just keep things as is, apart from just changing the wallpaper. Unfortunately, during our testing, that Magic Capsule laptop as of the moment doesn't support any third-party applications aside from that baked-in clock app, recorder, or when you have a call. Maybe in the future we can have some dynamic island-like features from third-party applications to fully take advantage of that cutout. Now, powering up the HONOR X8b is a 4500 mAh battery that supports 35-watt fast charging. The whole day of average use under Wi-Fi, but half a day when doing heavy tasks and gaming. We ran it through our standard video loop test and PC Mark Work 3.0 battery test, and here are the results that we got. Overall, the battery in this device is average, but in a pool where 5000 mAh battery is almost a standard, this small reduction in the milliamp hours might be a deal breaker to some people. When it comes to connectivity, it has Wi-Fi 802.11, Bluetooth 5.0, GPS, and 4G LTE. So yeah, if you're looking for a 5G band, unfortunately the HONOR X8b doesn't have it. Now to conclude this review, to be fair, the HONOR X8b could be a good smartphone for people seeking for a tool that can provide good performance, even though it's a bit dated kind of chipset, average battery life, and a good display within the range budget. But if you're looking for a smartphone with a great set of cameras, well, skip the HONOR X8b, or you might get a little bit underwhelmed.
For pricing, the HONOR X8b is priced at 12,999 pesos, and if you sign up for a pre-order, you will get a free HONOR Choice X5 earbuds worth 1,590 pesos. Hurry, because this pre-order promo is only until February 23, 2024.
And at that price, are you willing to accept the HONOR X8b's strengths and weaknesses? Let us know in the comment section below, and if you find this video helpful, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit the bell icon so you won't miss any future uploads, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and X, and do visit YugaTech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this has been Aurel, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.